name is Coutinho, and I'm a life and a wellness coach at Coutinho Holistic Healing Systems. I'm going to talk to you today about a topic that concerns almost every single one of us, irrespective of whatever age we might be at, and something that also has so many different connotations, so many different meanings, something that is also an influence on a person in such a way that it could be very good, it could be bad, it could be sort of an influence which isn't really helpful in any way whatsoever. Why? Because everybody has a different understanding of it. Everybody has their own version of it. To every single person, it's got a different meaning. What I'm talking about is success. What it takes to be successful. How do you want to be successful as compared to what a family member or a relative or a different work colleague of yours, how do they want to be successful? So I'm going to talk about what success really is, what it kind of encapsulates, a few different ways that can help us while defining what success is. And I'm going to end with a few important points to keep in mind as well while we define what success is. So let's start off with a little introduction to what this is and how we could probably get a better insight on it. Success is often thought of as a person or a place or a thing, a tangible destination that we can see right in front of us. After all, there is no one way of defining what successful is. It's often defined by what other people think for us. So it can be easy to set yourself up for failure when we look to external factors or influences for success. But here's the thing. Success is a uniquely personal experience, and it's critical to define it on our own terms. Is it power? Is it money that defines success for us? Is it happiness? Is it excellent health? Or is it something else entirely altogether? Once we have a clear definition of what success is for us, it makes everything else easier. It makes everything else fall into place that much quicker. It helps us with actually understanding what our steps are henceforth. It helps us to define a path ahead for us once we understand what success means for us. There is no right or wrong answer to defining success. Somebody once said, success is liking yourself, is liking what you do, and is liking how you do it. It's important to remember that we've always got to keep looking at and redefining at every stage of our life what success is on our terms. Why? Because it is relative. What one person thinks of or considers as success is another person's starting point. What helps considering success as a series or a range of different experiences, different outcomes that are meaningful to us. For example, somebody might consider success as simply being happy in their work and in their relationships with their family, with their friends, with their colleagues. To someone else, success might be working 14, 15 hours every day a week in order to achieve a particular promotion or to get to a certain point in society. Whatever the definition is, we have to understand that it's got to mean something for us. It's got to have a certain value for us. It should be something that matters a lot to us. Which is why one of the most common barriers to success is actually an unbalanced definition of success. Some define it too narrowly and some define it too broadly. For example, you might ask somebody, what does success mean to you? And that person might say, success for me is making a lot of money. Now, that's too broad a definition. And someone else might say success is happiness. Just one word, happiness. Again, that's too narrow. Not knowing what it means for you implies that somebody else is going to define what success is for you and then expect you to live up to their definition of success. So, like most things in life, defining your own notion of success is a process. It's a process that's going to take a lot of time and it's going to take a lot of effort. We need to figure out what is important for us, what is it we want, and how are we going to get it. So now let's talk about a few ways that can help us define what success is and how we can cater it to our specific needs, our specific requirements in life. So the first is obviously to start with the simple question: what does success mean for us? What does it look like? What does it mean to be successful? Does it mean having a lot of money? Does it mean having 2 or 3 different cars? Materialistic objects, a lovely house? What does it mean exactly? We also need to visualize the outcome of our successful future. What does that mean? So when we think we've reached that point that we can call ourselves successful, what are we doing at that point of time? Where are we? Who are we with? What are we doing? How are we feeling at that point of time? It's important to get clarity on all of these details in order to fully understand what is it going to take us to be successful. What is it going to cost us? What is it going to require of us on our part in order to achieve that particular level of success, or in order to have that definition of success in our minds? Because at the end of the day, it means different things to every single person. But it's also important to remember that while defining our success, at whatever point in our life we are at, it is important to not compare to someone who might have already achieved success or who is already successful. We've got to look at what our value system is, we've got to look at what we want, and accordingly define what that is for us. The second important thing to keep in mind is to not think about what other people think about you or what their opinions are. So the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, he once said, care about what other people think and you are always going to be their prisoner. So it's imperative to keep people's opinions and whatever comments they have, whether good ones, whether bad ones, keep it all aside, because it's otherwise going to cause a lot of confusion. It's not going to help you stay focused with what it is you really want. What your ideals of success are might mean something ridiculous to someone else. It might come across as something weird, something funny, something strange, something stupid even. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you define it and what it means for you. So avoid putting in energy towards such kinds of people or such kinds of comments and opinions. The third thing that we need to keep in mind or sort of remember while defining success is our character and our values. What is our value system? What do we value? What means? What are the things in our life that mean the most to us? What is our character like? With what purpose and intention do you set about starting your day? All of these things are critical, because success finally isn't about what you have or what you don't have or what you do. Who you are and how you live that out in the world matters more than what you have. This is called living simply. Living simply in today's world wherein we've got a culture of consumerism, is a challenge itself. And to many, that is success. It helps those who want to have that definition of success. It helps them to free up so much of their time so that they are able to actually focus on what really matters to them. So, character and values, get a good understanding of what that is, of who you are, where you've come from, what are you built of, how are you made, what is your integrity like, and then see how you want to define your success. The fourth way that can help you define your success is freedom. How much freedom would you like to have? What is freedom for you? It can come in various ways: financial freedom, the flexibility of time, the freedom to choose where you wish to live. Ask yourself, what does freedom look like for me? How much of it do I want to have? Some people prefer living their life around a routine, and some people prefer to be spontaneous. So, what would you need to do to have that type of freedom? What do you want to be able to do with all that time? So, getting a clear understanding on freedom, what it means, how you define it, how you look at it, how much you want to fit, is going to be very important into defining your notion of success. The fifth way to that can help us in getting clarity on defining success is financial stability. Now, I'm not talking about financial freedom, I'm talking about financial stability. So we've got to define what this term means for us. We all know money can't solve all of problems' lives, but we cannot also deny that money is crucial in designing a certain type of life that you want. So is it necessary to get clarity on financial stability to know what that looks for you? How much money are you going to need in order to live a comfortable future, maybe? Or how much do you need to save up, maybe for your children's education if you have a family? Or how many vacations do you want to go on once you retire? Or, for example, if you at some point feel that you would like to donate some amount of your money to people who really need it, how much are you going to donate? Be specific with numbers. This will help you understand how much of stability you need to aim for, how much of stability you actually need, and subsequently what your idea of success is going to turn out like depending on the definition of this word. But this one's important just like the others, but it holds a lot of meaning in terms of determining how successful you really are going to be. And I'm talking about failure, embracing failure. Whatever notion of success you define for yourself, you have to be ready to fail. You've got to be ready to embrace it when it hits you in the face. Nobody likes to fail, but we cannot experience, or if we cannot experience the lows from failing or from losing or from making a mistake, how can we appreciate and celebrate our successes? It isn't a indicator of our capabilities. It's rather another feather in our hat of learning experiences. We've got to look at it that way. So we have to get clarity on the importance of failure in defining our success, and what level or what hierarchy of importance are we going to give it in our life while defining what success looks like for us. Because accordingly then we'll know how easy it is going to be for us to bounce back up or to pick ourselves up every time we do fail, or every time we do hit an obstacle, or we make mistakes that cost us a lot. How quickly we come out of that, how quickly we learn from it, is going to be a very important determinant for how we eventually live out what our notion of success is. And the last one is investing in yourself. This is important because it's easy to define what success might be like for us, for you, but it's an entirely different thing to actually live up to it. In order to, it might be a different thing to actually carry it out. So how much time are you willing to spend on learning something new? How much are you willing to strive to be a better person, to improve yourself, to constantly look at ways of getting better in some way or the other, right? How much of that are you willing to do? Will you say yes to every opportunity that comes your way, or are you going to sit back and think, no, I think this is enough. This is probably going to be enough for me to, get to where I want to be. So investing in yourself is critical to being in alignment with what your idea of success is. These are some of the most important ways, 7 important ways that will help us in defining what success is and how we need to define it according to what we eventually want in our life. Now let's come to 4 important things to keep in mind while we get about defining what success is for us. And the first one is to view success as a process. Okay? It isn't something that's going to just happen overnight. And if it does, it probably won't have that much of clarity for you. It's important to, as compared to contrary belief, it isn't always about big achievements. It's a process, it's a journey, it's an unfolding of events. How you view it, how you approach it is going to be important. Because if you look at it as short wins or short-term achievements, then you know you're on the right path. It will also help you be avoid you getting overwhelmed. It will help you to actually stay focused on the smaller things that matter. Taking one step at a time, achieving small accomplishments that will eventually take you towards the bigger ones. So remember, success is a process. Defining it as a process, the entire journey of it is a process. The second important thing to remember and keep in mind is that the definition of success can change at any time. No 2 days for us are the same. We age every single day. The world is changing rapidly every single day. Our priorities change every now and then. Today we are single. Tomorrow we wake up alongside a spouse. The next day we have kids. We have got a family. So the same thing happens with the nature of success. It's going to evolve as our value system also changes depending on what point of life we are in. Our notion of success is also going to age. It's going to mature, perhaps into something that is more conducive to where we are at that point of time in our life. So we've got to understand that our ideas of success are going to change a couple of different times, more than we probably expected, but they will change depending on where we are at that particular point of time in our life. The third important thing to keep in mind while we define success is that it isn't always about your job. They say find something that you love doing and you never have to work another day for the rest of your life. Now, this might be a very inspirational quote for most, but it isn't a realistic goal for everyone. It can also set us up for false expectations because the job doesn't have to be the most fulfilling thing that you do. It can simply be a means to an end. Sometimes work is just work. Sometimes our job allows us the time to spend on things that we want to be doing, that we love doing. And it's absolutely fine if the job itself is just a job and not our life's passion. So we've got to remember, again, keep this in mind while defining our success, rather than getting confused or getting caught up in what our job is, what our career is, and that success needs to be something catered around that. The fourth important point to keep in mind is that success is a feeling, it is feeling good about your choices. At the end of the day, success is being able to look at yourself in the mirror and feel good and strong about the choices you make, the choices you have made, the choices that you are going to make. Our version doesn't have to, it shouldn't have to look like anyone else's. But it's important that our definition is something that we feel good about. It's something that's close to our heart. It's something which is meaningful for us. Knowing what success looks like will also help us further understand or get more clarity on what our dreams are and what our real goals are, because now we know what we're aiming for. Now we know how we need to get there. What is it we need to do in order to actually start achieving these little dreams, these little goals, and then eventually have that feeling that yes, we've arrived, we're successful. So that's why we've got to understand that finally it's also just feeling good about the choices that we make without any regrets whatsoever. So the bottom line is to all of this, to defining success, is that there is no one size fits all definition of success. What's imperative is working towards finding out what our definition is and what it means to us, how it fits in with our value system, with our character. Where have we come from? Where do we intend to go? And then accordingly pursuing a path that is uniquely designed to help us facilitate that notion of success for us. This is the most important thing to remember. Let me know in the comments section below how you would define success. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.